This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Rule. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, a government-led revolution within the gaming industry in the country, making it legal now for 8 gaming operators to conduct business in the Bahamas. Now with the legislative and the bureaucratic process behind them, number of bosses are moving ahead. Among them receiving a license is a veteran businessman on Grand Bahama. Joan Davis Roll has our top story.
He is now a legally recognized member of the gaming industry in the country. This after Chances Games was among the 8 gaming operators granted a license last Thursday. This landmark decision by the government gives Chances Games CEO and President Raymond R.H. Kama the right to legally operate his chain of gaming facilities nationwide. Flanked by the company's vice president, wife Darlene Kama, and employees, Kama, during a press conference held at Jarrell Investments Limited, commended the government.
First off, it's a provisional license. It came about as a result of us RFP being approved, and there are some conditions to be met. But first off, I'd like to thank the Gaming Board, the secretary and his staff, the consultants who we worked very well with, the Minister of Tourism, of course, who's responsible for gaming, and the government of the Bahamas. We'd like to thank them for giving us this opportunity to go forward in this new era of gaming in the Bahamas.
It is a major achievement for this local businessman who has been a part of Grand Bahama's economic landscape for decades.
I've been in this business about 21 years, 22 years. I started out as just a writer, and truth be told, I went into it so that I didn't have to move my kids out of private school into public school. I was having some hard times back in '92, and I started writing for one of the local numbers operators, and it just took off.
Took off is an understatement. Kama's gaming dynasty has more than tripled, employing more than 200 employees at locations throughout the country.
12 stores, mainly between Abaco, Bimini, and Grand Bahama. At present, we are operating 46 stores.
Kama says the process of becoming a bona fide member of the gaming industry has been stringent, tedious, and costly.
Well, I have invested several $1 million of my own money into this project, and we've basically reinvested everything that we earn into it. Right now, between taxes and investigative fees and all that, we've probably given the gaming board somewhere around $6 or $7 million already.
Joan Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
In other news, vendors at the downtown market temporary location has been on a bit of a roller coaster ride over the past week. On Monday, the tents and tables at the temporary location were removed. As a result, they were unable to conduct business. But today, it was a totally different story. Kimberly Mullings has the update.
Wednesday morning, vendors at the downtown fruit and vegetable market in Freeport were pleased to see that tents and tables were re-erected at their temporary location. Vendors Nancy Dean and Elaine Williams both say that they are satisfied with the government's swift response, and now they're able to work comfortably.
We've been reassured again, and when many of us arrived here this morning, we were very, very grateful.
I was very excited and very pleased that that government had paid Mr. Solo for his money. And I'm very pleased and excited for each and every one of us out here today.
Both vendors cannot wait for the renovations to be completed and remain optimistic about what is to come, including more buses with guests and a clean environment.
We're looking forward to newly renovated, just about state-of-the-art facilities that we'll be going back into. We're excited.
Very excited. I'm very excited and motivated to move back across to the new store market across the street. And good things are going to happen for each and every one of us out here.
SRE Construction was awarded the contract for the facility's renovations, and even though the project was given 4 weeks for completion, Dean says she's mindful of the work that has to be done and the conditions the workers have had to deal with.
We do not have control over the elements. We know that the threat of hurricane and all of the bad weather, the extra rain and everything, so that has delayed a little bit, but we commend them. They're doing an excellent job.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Well, meantime, police on Grand Bahama are investigating an apparent suicide. The discovery was made late yesterday at a home in the Yeoman Wood community. Natalie Martinborough has the story.
Neighbors and a group of cab drivers gathered outside the house off East Indian Man Road and Manawa Circle, all in a state of shock. They watched as police removed the body of 69-year-old Maxwell Scrubs Roll, who was found hanging with a rope around his neck. Reports say a family member made the shocking discovery.
Police were called here to a residence on East Indian Man Road, where a male was found in his home hanging. At this time, we do not know the cause or the reason, but we are in our early stages of investigations, and a cause of death is yet to be determined.
President of the Grand Bahama Taxi Union, David Jones, says the deceased was a well-known cab driver who loved the tourism industry. He says the tragic death is a tough loss for the taxi union.
We made an attempt to see him on Sunday, but the house was in darkness, and we did not get a response. We figured he was the type that took time out for himself, so we figured he was just doing that. So to find him now, under these circumstances, is really heart-wrenching. All the drivers, they were here, they're calling. My phone wouldn't stop ringing because he loved tourists. He was in the tourist industry for years, worked at the hotel, decided to drive a cab on his spare time. So right now, the taxi line is right now not doing too well at this time.
Jones says the circumstances surrounding the tragic loss of such a committed cab driver is disturbing and notes that as an organization, they must now find a way to pay closer attention to each member.
The economy is not, where we want it to be, but I want to say to all cab drivers, in times like these, find someone to talk to. Call a friend, a pastor. You could always call the union. We have counselors in there that we can also use to talk to our drivers in times like this. So for this to happen, I feel now we need to reach out more to our drivers, because everything, you can see a man's face, but you cannot see his heart. So we have to reach out a little bit more, be more concerned about our drivers.
Natalie Martinborough, ZNS Network News.
Well, meantime, the police and a Freeport family are still searching for 76-year-old Rupert Roll of number 6B Churchill Road, South Bahamas, who has been missing since Saturday. The elderly man, who reportedly suffers from dementia, stands at 5 feet 7 inches tall and he weighs about 160 pounds. Now, reports say he was last seen in the area of Mary's Star of the Sea School. If you can help in finding 76-year-old Rupert Roll, you are asked to contact the police at 352-5744, 350-3025-911, or the nearest police station. Stay with us. There's more news right after this.